Can you guys hear me? And also, this is Dark Devin speaking. And welcome back. And welcome on back to another live stream tonight. And also, welcome to another video. It is I, Dark Devin speaking. That's right. I'm here. And Dark Devin is back. And also, I'm going to go ahead and try and test it on with a mic to see if it works. Give me a second. Well, I think it'll work for now, I guess, but we'll see. We'll see eventually to see if the live stream is willing to cooperate. But for now, exactly, it is time, as I said before. The live stream is about to begin. That's right. It is I, Dark Devin, the most evil of all of lords is here. So yes, it is I, the most likely to be, is Dark Devin is here and speaking. And of course, we're definitely back. And considering again, we're definitely considered to be back. So, if you guys enjoy this live stream here, remember is give this video a like and comment and subscribe. And as always, hit the bell to be absolutely notified so that way you guys again do not miss a single video that comes right on to this channel here. So, anyways, how's it going with myself? Well, let's just say that I'm doing alright. As you know, I'm just doing okay with myself lately. But you know, this entire likely of this video, of this live stream is doing pretty alright. Is doing pretty good, I say. Pretty good. And I mean very good. So, anyway, before we consider on with the start, is that for those who are definitely new on this channel, then go on ahead and subscribe to this horror channel. And for those who definitely want to ask questions, let me know in the chats, so that way I'll be able to take a look. So, as of now, we're going to be doing an interesting live stream we're going to be doing. So, for those who do see my face, that yes, I definitely do look pretty good, by the way. That, you know, I actually am looking pretty good today. And also, the suit that I always like to wear is very good and very intimidating. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look on the chats that we can definitely read. Well, let's go ahead and take a look. So far, I'm going to take a look ahead and see what this says. Alright, so WOTANCRARP said hi. Well, hello there, and welcome to the horror channel. And I'm going to say, hello there. And the person said, I don't see your face. I see your channel. Well, let's just say that I don't kind of want to reveal myself on the live stream because, well, you know, I just don't want to reveal myself already because, you know, the main reason I don't want to reveal myself right now is because, you know, I have to use a flashlight because, well, that one's a little hard to do, so that's probably why that I consider to say that, you know, that's pretty much what I would say. The person says, okay, that's fine. Well, thank you for respecting my opinion. Thank you, and definitely appreciate that. The person said that was, let's see, let's look. The person said that was named TechTube4U says, don't you? Said, do you, play games? The answer is that yes, of course, that me and my horror killers have been playing games lately. And oh yeah, the only games I did have remembered, let's just say that the games, by the way, is that, oh yes, the only games I had remembered. Let's just say the only horror games we actually had played, by the way, was back in the live streams we did a long time ago. Let's just say that we've been playing is, the ones we did play, by the way, was the Monster 4x4 World Circuit, which, oh yeah, that definitely, my friends, was definitely the monster truck. Yeah, it was definitely about the monster trucks live stream thing, and it was pretty sick. You know, it was pretty good. And also, it was definitely on the Wii. For those who didn't know, by the way, it was on the Wii games. It was definitely on the Wii games. And oh yeah, the only things I did remembered that us horror killers, by the way, we were definitely considered to say was like, Oh, it was pretty much like the Five Nights at Freddy's games we definitely played. Oh, yes, the Five Nights at Freddy's games. We definitely had remembered playing the first game, by the way. Like, oh my goodness. The first games we already remembered was playing the first game, which was pretty good, by the way. It was pretty good, so that is probably why. And speaking of why, let's go ahead and take a look in the chats again. So, the next one says, "You are making me breathe." Okay. Well, okay then. Um, let's see. So, the next one says, "Why are you even sane?" Well, I was mentioning to say about games. I was mentioning about games. Just in case if you guys do or don't know, by the way, it's only the signal bars that may be doing pretty good or maybe not be doing as well. But I'm just trying to mention here about the fact is if you guys can try at least to hear me a little bit, that's pretty much why. And attemptedly, if you guys enjoy this live stream for a while, like, let's go ahead and take a look. The next one says, "I'm really good at Legos. Did you know that?" Oh yeah, I didn't know that, by the way. I didn't know that. Well, Legos, huh? Well, Legos are pretty good, by the way. Legos are very interesting. Like, the Legos, huh? Well, very tempting and very interesting about the Legos. I remember for once about the Legos that you have, of course, have to like make them all together and figure out which ones of the spots you can make. Like, oh yeah, the Legos, huh? Well, maybe some other time I might figure about some Lego ideas for making some interesting gaming stuff. If there ever were to be some Lego game stuff, then yeah, it probably would be a very interesting time to look. But for now, as I say, the Legos are pretty interesting and very nostalgia, which we all can agree Legos are very interesting and very nostalgia. And the next one says, "The logo, or should I say the logo of my channel is my mom grabbing me." Oh, I see. Gotcha, gotcha. Alright, well, fair enough, fair enough. I don't know why your mom was grabbing you, but I don't know why. But okay then, well, makes sense. So, as I was going to say, back to the topic here, was that the game stuff, let's just say that the next gaming that we were playing, by the way, let's just say the next gaming we were playing was like, let's see. Let's see for a second. Oh, yes. The next game I did remember was Terror Dome. Oh, yeah, the Terror Dome. And also, for those who do not know what Terror Dome means, Terror Dome means that you grab a bunch of horror killers and start fighting each other, which means it's a very interesting good game. Like a very attempting good game. Like, oh yes, that game, by the way, I have remembered, was a very long time ago. Like, geez, that was like almost 5 years ago. Like, literally, that was like almost like 5 years ago. Like, that was super interesting, man. Like, to say at least. I've actually been playing all the part videos. Like, let's just say I've been playing part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, I've been playing almost 11 of those part of those games. And they were very good. Like, those ones were pretty good. Like, not gonna lie, that Terror Dome was like the most interesting game I had ever seen. And oh yes, the other game I was going to tell you guys about right now, that the only game I ever heard about, let's just say that the only game I did heard about was that I actually had played was The Littlest Penguin. And oh yeah, it's definitely a scary horror game. Just want to let you know that a penguin was holding a knife, which means, there was like one killer penguin out there that was actually going to go after other penguins in the ice, which means it was a game back in the time when I did that live stream, like I said again, almost 5 years ago. For those who want to see it, by the way, then yeah, that's pretty much why it's supposed to be relating to horror and scary attractionally of horror. And much likely all scary stuff to be in the gaming stuff. But, that's pretty much what was going on about, and that's what was really even happening. So, back in that time ago, was that I think it was like a long, long, long time. A very constantly a long time ago. Man, I sure remember that game. And that game, again, was pretty tempting and pretty scary, in my opinion. It was pretty scary, but at least Well, at least the game was a little bit fascinating. You know, not bad, but a little fascinatingly to do something impressive. So, let's go ahead and take a look on videos and see what other gamings we actually did back in the time we also had played was something way, way back. So, let me show you guys something I will tell you guys right now. So, here it is. Let's go all the way back up. So, here it is, right on the video section. So, on the videos, by the way, we were about to play Final Fantasy Phrase 3. So, for those again who did not or did know, by the way, that we were actually about to play Final Fantasy Phrase 3. But until a further different notice that the laptop, by the way, was actually not going to be working because due to the verification nonsense, which means, you know, it means it was still going to be a little bit less delayed, but, you know, that was a little bit of the bad news. So, that's probably what was going on. And the person says, "What? Games?" Yes, it is games, by the way. If you did not notice that, yes, there were some games, by the way. That, you know, we were still going to do some gaming stuff until the time, by the way. Oh, and the person says, "My friend usually plays Legos and with me." Oh, nice. Good for you. Good for you. Definitely, like I said, good for you, by the way. Good for you. And let me go ahead and check the next person in the chat. The next person is Paul Kirby, 1874, has 3 question marks. Well, welcome to the live stream, by the way. You know, welcome, Paul Kirby, 1874. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the live stream. By any chance, welcome. And also, I was about to kind of mention, by the way, that we were mentioning about Final Fantasy Phrase 3 for a moment. And oh yes, before anybody does ask about Final Fantasy Phrase 3, well, for us horror killers and creepypastas and twisted animatronics, that for us, by the way, we have not played Final Fantasy Phrase 3. And also, yes, it is supposed to be another scary attraction. And it's supposed to be another scary, attempting Final Fantasy Phrase 3 game that we've not actually played. So, for those who might ask us if we play that game, the answer is that yes, we will definitely try to kind of play that game. And also, for that main reason is because, well, not really sure why that the verification was bothering the main person, by the way. I really am not that too familiar to be that sure, but like I said, we'll try to see. I mean, we'll definitely try to see what happens. Like, whatever the time is happening, we'll just see what happens anyways. But I really don't know. So, let's go ahead and read the next part of the chat. So, the person says, whatever. I'm not even talking. I'm not even laughing. I'm not even scared. I am just waiting. Well, okay. Well, this is just how I sound like. You know, for those again by saying is like, "Oh, why do you sound like that?" Well, for me, this is just what I sound like as my dark self is to be like. You know, something very spooky and scary. And also that, yes, I am technically the Lord of all of evil of lords. You know, that's where I came from, is that I was technically only related to be from the lords. Exactly. Only evil version of the lords, which means I am very scary. And also, for those who say like, "Oh, you're not scary, by the way." Well, as I can tell you already, is that I only will be scary if I actually will be very attempting. You know, if I am very attempting, it means that I might actually try to be scarier again. But for now, exactly, yeah. Like I said, it depends if I ever will kind of get back to being scary again. But for me, like I said, let's just say I'll have to wait for that opinion to arrive. But for now, that opinion alone is going to kind of actually be a little bit, waiting a little bit for, I guess. But we'll see. But anyways, temptingly as I said, well, amusing as I said, we'll see what happens. And oh, let me go ahead and read. I can tell. My family can tell. Oh, really? Nice. Well, okay then, I guess. I'm not even scared of you. Why would you be? I mean, if I were to scare you, by the way, I would say it's like, boo! I mean, I would have done that, by the way. But, you know, let's just say that my scare factor is not kind of going a little up a little bit. It's just kind of staying at the medium down for right now, which means if I were to still be scary, I would have been very much likely to be terrified. But, that actually does depend, and that highly depends for that main reason. And looks like the person says, I'm a kid, but can't be scared. Oh, gotcha. Whatever you say, gotcha. Understood, and definitely understand that question. But as of right now, for the game selection, oh yes, about Final Fantasy 3, let's just say about Final Fantasy 3 that until Final Fantasy 3 actually does continue to begin and might actually get back on its track. Let's just say once Final Fantasy 3 does happen, by the way, then yes, it will automatically will happen at some time at some point that it will be activated because, well, once the verification does not appear again exactly, it means that we'll finally get back to play Five Nights at Freddy's 3. And also, the main reason why we're going to be facing against, well, a very familiar face. Let's just say that familiar face is the one who actually created all the 1987 stuff. And also, in fact, was actually going after the animatronics from the very beginning. So that is probably the only why. And the main question of why to the question is that, by the meantime, when Final Fantasy 3 is ready for us to play, then it means us horror killers will definitely try and will definitely play the game and see what happens. And the person says, and what? For now, exactly, I was meaning to say exactly that, well, all I can say that I'm just going to be mentioning the fact about, like, oh, when is the Final Fantasy 3, release date going to happen of us playing the game? Well, let's just say it's going to happen in the fall time, or a little bit it's going to be happening around, I don't know, maybe something like October-ish or November or whatever, but I really don't know. That does depend on how, if we actually continue to get on with a laptop, it will begin with the access, which means we're going to definitely be doing that. When are you going to start playing some games? Well, that's what I said, is that it depends if the verification doesn't actually appear again, which means, for those who do not know what the verification means, it actually refers to the verification, the step verification thing, which is pretty annoying, by the way. It is actually completely, again, very annoying for us to actually do stuff, by the way. Until then, it sucks, which means it's not going to look too good, but I hope that everything else actually gets back to being in order, and the laptop finally could be back to being accessed again, which means we'll all finally get to be getting back to all other stuff. I'm not sure. Well, like I said, it's more likely a waiting game until things actually get back to being restored. Since everything else needs to get back to being restored again, and it depends. It actually does depend. You don't know where I live. Bruh. Are we really talking about that? Are you serious? Like, are you really talking about that now? Which I'm like, bruh. I'm not really sure if anybody actually has noticed, but I'm like, yeah, that is actually irrelevant to the question by saying is like, oh, I don't know where you live. Okay. That was just a bit of a irrelevant question. Not being rude. No offense. But I'm just saying again is like, okay, first of all, I don't know where you live either. And second of all, the question is very irrelevant. And the question is just very off topic. Typically off topic. But anyway, what I was going to say to mention here, that once the two-step verification nonsense doesn't bother any of us, it means that we'll finally get videos back on track and we'll make some horror content and finally get scary content back, which means we're finally going to be doing that. I'm a good kid with my family. Well, I can tell, and I can see what you mean. And yes, you are a good kid, exactly. But, as I could say again, that you're correct. You're very correct. But, which means I'm not going to, bother you or anything, but you're correct. On one thing that you're correct, that I'll say for once that I'll say that question is that you're correct. But, as of right now, let's just focus on the main topic at hand. Is that, well, as for how everything else is going to be restored, is like, is that I think at the end of the day, that we'll see what happens. The thing I can't do is sleep. Oh, yeah, right. You can't sleep. Oh, I see. Well, good luck in your sleep, I guess, but, try not to get any scared or afraid cats or anything around, I guess. Well, whatever I say. Just whatever. Which, I was gonna say something different, but whatever then. I mean, the only rival I would be going after for is my non-dark self, by the way. And also, for those who do not know who my non-dark self is, that would probably would soon to be is Devin Foxy, by the way. Which is definitely my non-dark self, because me and him are a little bit rivals with each other. We're just more likely rivals. That's all. For those who do not know who he is, then yes, me and him, probably. Let's just say that me and him don't get along as technically often, but we only do argue if we ever do actually fight. But that depends. And it does depend whenever that is necessarily. But for now, us horror killers are a little bit more likely just vegging out and just relaxing. And also, we do might as well say this, that us horror killers are going to actually just like, I don't know, do something a little easier a little bit before we continue making content again. That depends. And really will, again, highly make the note of how that actually does depend on something. But we'll see. We'll definitely see what happens. We'll just see. But let's go ahead and take a look on videos for a second. So, the gaming we're going to continue looking on here. So, the next gaming we actually did, by the way, was us playing Five Nights at Freddy's 2. And oh, before anybody does ask us this question, is that, how long did we play Five Nights at Freddy's 2? Well, my friends, in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, us horror killers definitely played the second game, which of course we had to face the toys and withered animatronics, which means we actually did play the game, and it was pretty tempting. It was pretty good. It was a very interesting game. Very good. And also, the person said, by the way, I can't wake up. But why was I sleeping? I get a dream. Oh, you were sleeping, huh? Well, it makes sense. Well, I have to say that makes sense, I guess, which I think all of us have the same way to say is like, well, for most of anybody that can't actually get to sleep, well, maybe anybody else had a nightmare or something, or maybe something a bit different, but whatever, it makes sense eventually. And the person said, I subscribe to your channel. Why, thank you. And also, that really doesn't mean appreciative a lot, by the way. It really means, again, appreciated. So, totally appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. And also, welcome to the horror channel, by the way. And you definitely had subscribed. Thank you. Thanks for the subscribe. Really appreciate it. But, as of right now, let's just say that we definitely played Five Nights at Freddy's 2. And let's just say that the second game, well, normally the second game was pretty okay. It was pretty alright and mediocre. That the second game was pretty alright, which I wasn't kind of expecting that much. But the second game of Five Nights at Freddy's 2, well, let's just say it was very good. It was pretty impressive. My own kindness goes around. Alright, well, thank you for that. Thank you. And very appreciative. Yeah, so very appreciative to that question. Very appreciative. Now, about the question about Five Nights at Freddy's 2, let's just say about Five Nights at Freddy's 2 that we definitely did. All of us, horror killers, definitely had played the game. And we all definitely, in fact, definitely considered playing the game. And it was very interesting. You know, it was very interesting at the time that, well, it was pretty alright. I wasn't expecting much, but the whole thing, well, it was all good. At the very only time of its peak, that it was pretty good. It was like the most interesting game we've all had played, which was very awesome, I guess. You know, it was back in 2025. For those who didn't know, by the way, we definitely did play that last year. It was like back 1 year ago that we played it, so that's pretty much when we played the game. And it was pretty interesting, not gonna lie. It was very good, but not as bad, but it was pretty okay. You know, it's only best game I could ever say. It was alright. So, the next thing I was going to talk to you guys about was the next game we were about to be playing, or should I say we did played. Well, let's go ahead and take a look. So far, I was going to take a look anyways. So, let's see. Let's just go all the way to the right. All the way. So, the next one we were about to do, that the only thing we did played, well, I think the only thing I could say, and most likely with many honesties I can say right here, well, the next game we were definitely playing is that the next one we were doing is, let's see, let's go all the way to the right and see if we actually played any games lately. Well, the only games we definitely played was all the way down to the right again. So, let's see. Let's just see for a second. Let's go all the way to the right. All the way. Like, considered all the way to the right. Let's see. Let's go all the way this way, yada yada yada. I know there's a lot of video content we were going to still do, but until unfortunately, thanks to the verification, which is pretty idiotic, but still, at least we tried. Like, at least they tried getting back in, but it kind of sucked. But for now, let's just go ahead and say that the only gaming we did next, well, I think the only thing I can say, in my regard, is that the only thing we kind of did, by the way, was that, hold on, I think we were almost kind of getting over here a little bit. Alright, so the next thing we were going to do is, man, that's all the way far to the right, which, that's very far to the right. And oh yes, we definitely did something very interesting a little bit, is that we did, by the way, we did like a horror rap battle, by the way. For those who did not know what a horror rap battles means, it means we did something a little bit interesting, but as horror killers, had to kind of roast each other, by the way. And we were definitely going to return by doing another one again, but this time it's going to be a remastered version to the series. My own kind of series. So, for those who do or don't quietly know about what horror rap battles means, it actually does mean that horror rap battles is something like you get to roast a horror killer, but more likely it's about like a horror killer to a horror killer that actually would roast each other, I guess. But something like I said, very interesting for like something like that. And oh, there was something we were definitely doing earlier that we actually did, by the way, was something like this. We actually did, by the way, did horror beatbox battles thing. So that's all I can say. And oh, the person said, and plus my mom loves me. Well, good for you. Good for you, exactly. Good for you. Well, normally I'd say, good for you, exactly. Good for you. Now, the next game we actually did play, by the way, was Five Nights at Pinky's, which, yeah, trust me, the game, like I said, well, it was pretty scary at first, but, it's only like the scary version of that game. It wasn't like, oh, it was back to like the normal characters. It somehow was a little bit the scary versions of like Five Nights at Pinky's, which was a little bit tempting, but I was like, oh my goodness, that is like, damn, that is just like impressive a little bit. I was like, wow, that game, by the way, was a little bit tempting. Pretty interesting though. Not gonna lie. The game I remembered was a little interesting. It'd say, let's go ahead and read the part of the chat. So, the next one said, when my mom gets mad at me, she still says she loves me. Oh, is that nice? That's very nice. Well, very nice. Anyway, yeah, Finds a Pinkies, by the way, well, it was pretty a bit different at first, but it was a little bit like the first game a little bit, but something like that, I guess. Just like the original Finds of Freddy's, the original first, but whatever though, just like, I don't know, it's just been quite some time to say at the least, but, something like that, pretty interesting. And oh yes, before anybody does ask, by the way, is that we did play some Henry Stickmin, by the way. Is that, the main reason that we did play Henry Stickmin, by the way, was I think it was pretty funny when we were actually playing Henry Stickmin. Us characters, by the way, were playing some Henry Stickmin, which were like a little bit funny, which was pretty hilarious. I'm allergic to avocados. Oh, good question, good question. Allergic to avocados, you say? Alright, well, fair enough. Well, for most of any of us, well, anybody can be allergic to anything. Like, anything exactly. That any of us could be, like, allergic to something. But, I think all of us aren't allergic to anything, as us killers aren't allergic to something. But, at least that's pretty alright, I guess. But, fair enough. And say, let's just go right ahead and take a look on the next question that we were just going to go ahead and take a look on right here. is that the only next question that we were definitely going to consider looking onto is that the only thing I would say is that let's see, the next thing we were going to do, by the way, was the horror beatbox battles. Yes, yes, definitely the horror beatbox battles. And also, for any of us out there who does not know what that means, it means, like I said, from the very previous beginning, is that I think us horror killers and creepypastas definitely, like I said, get to roast each other in a battle while actually beatboxing, entirely likely just for something very random and very interesting. Like, if one of the killers wins, it means that they move up to the next battle. Like, I think it was supposed to be a little bit like a reference to Verbal Ace or something. A little bit inspired by it, but whatever, exactly. But whatever, though. It will make sense eventually by actually having a different reference. But, something like that would make a lot more sense eventually. A lot more sense. So, the next part of the gaming, I guess, we're going to have to kind of see right here. Let's see. I think it's all the way, like I said, to the very right. But until then, we're going to have to go ahead and read the chats. So, the next part of the chats we are going to about to read is right about right here. So, it says, of course, Roblox is a fun game, but has a wall of horror games in it. Well, yeah, actually, yeah, it does have a lot of that too. So you might probably be expecting a lot of that in Roblox, which, I mean, for me, well, I don't have Roblox because, I mean, for me, I don't have Roblox to begin with, which I say that, well, let's just say that Roblox definitely changed, that most of anybody out there didn't kind of like, which we all were kind of not like, oh, something that we didn't kind of want to kind of get into exactly, because I think we could have probably would have understood if like Roblox would have kept the same issue, by the way, that wouldn't actually prevent us to not let us even get in the game or something. But as like I said before, it is like I said always that it should have probably would have listened, but no, it probably would have cooperatively to listen. So probably that's understandable. So the next one I'm going to go ahead and read right here. It says, why Roblox is a fun game, but has horror games, sus games, and simulators and tower defense. Oh, yeah, yeah. That debate was an interesting question. Gotcha, gotcha. Well, fair enough, by the way. Fair enough. Fair enough. And I could definitely agree on this question. Definitely, like I said, consider the question correct. And oh yeah, fair enough. I can definitely respect that question. Totally fair enough. And say, I would like to say here in this question at this point, is that I did say, by the way, that I was going to say earlier, that yeah, Roblox games of horror games are pretty good. Like, most of them are pretty good, as I definitely would have to agree that it's very, very good. Like, it's very good. Like, once again, pretty good. And oh yes, before anybody does ask, is I did had a horror movie once. Is that if you guys do not know what the horror movie was actually called, well, it was definitely made in 7 years ago that we actually did, by the way. It was definitely called the Sonic.exe movie of death. That's what that movie was called. And yes, it was definitely me going after the Sonic characters. Or should I say, not me, by the way. It was Sonic.exe by any chance. It was minting to say Sonic.exe definitely went after them. So that's probably what I meant to say. Was Sonic.exe was the one who went after the characters, by the way. So that's probably what happened. And say, let's go ahead and read the next one here. It said, I did play horror games in Roblox, but I still did not got scared. But one of the games got me super scared. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Very interesting. Got it. Got it. Fair enough. Fair enough. So, that's all the games we actually did have, by the way, and that's all I have to say in my horror channel, by the way. That's all the games we already had. And for example, that yes, all of the horror games we had was that it was definitely pretty true on live streams, and of course, technically on live streams and physically, just regular videos that we actually did exactly. So there's you guys' questions that we definitely did very pretty much interesting stuff back in 7 years ago. So that's probably what we had to say. That, it was very, very interesting back in 7 years ago. As I can say as myself as Dark Devin, is that, it was a very good time in 7 years ago. And not gonna lie, it was a pretty good time in 7 years ago. Very amazing in 7 years. But say, before anybody does ask, is that the main question you may ask before I say anything here is that, most other stuff, well, like I said, other stuff will definitely be improved once, like, everything else gets improved and stuff and yada yada yada. But whatever, we'll see. Because I can still get jump scared with a super quick. Oh, interesting. A super quick, huh? Well, I guess I'll have to look into that. Super quick. Well, very interesting. Very spookily interesting, getting jump scared pretty quick. Alright, fair enough. Fair enough as I can agree. Fair enough. And oh yes, say as I can probably mention right here is that, well, what I was really going to go on and mention about here was that, oh yes, what I was really going to say here was that for something I was going to mention earlier was that there are going to be some interesting horror games that we can be doing on our horror channel, but so far, as I can mention here, that, well, so far on other stuff on like the laptop and stuff, let's just say that it's not going to probably be happening until it kind of actually poops away a little bit by not seeing that verification again. But until it actually does disappear, it will actually be a good thing for all of us to finally get back to making content. But, as long as everything does get back to being normal, it will be back to being good. So, hopefully so. And hopefully for sure that everything else will get back to its own feet, of course. Back to its own course. But anyway, for now, we can say that we can probably be here for a little bit amount of a minute before we can end the live stream. So far, it is in 37 minutes, and we're doing pretty well in 37 minutes of this live stream. So, anywho, yeah. So, let's go ahead and say that, well, for us horror killers out here, exactly, let's just say that there are going to be some interesting plans, by the way. That, I was definitely going to be planning something very interesting, by the way. Let's just say the most interesting thing, something very attentively interesting, by the way. That, we were definitely playing a game earlier that was Sonic.exe's game, so that's probably what we were doing. So the game we did play was definitely Sonic.exe's game. And of course, Sally.exe and Sunky and pretty much Sally Tiff or something like that. But, we definitely did play those games, and oh my goodness, those were actually like pretty good games back in 7 years ago or whatever exactly, but very interesting. So, at least it was good, and it was like very, very good. Attemptedly, but very good. So, if you guys have any questions, let me know in the chat, so that way I'll be able to answer some of the questions in the chat. So, if you guys feel free to have any questions, by the way, feel free to drop those questions in the chat, so that way I'll be able to read some of the questions. And, yeah, go ahead and be able to feel free to do that. And also, definitely appreciate to the person for subscribing. Really appreciate that. And also, for those out there who are excited for more awesome horror content, yes, there are going to be a lot, and I mean, sincerely, a lot of stuff going to be happening. Well, normally it's just going to be on the YouTube short stuff. It's going to be like, well, lately to be on the YouTube short stuff. It's going to be like, considering to be on the YouTube stuff. I'm just here. Well, yeah, I definitely could see that. Well, yeah, I can definitely see you were there. So, it makes sense eventually that anyone else isn't in the live stream yet. But, let's just see that, yeah, nobody else is here. Correct. Yeah, that's definitely correct. That, yeah, you're definitely correct. That you're actually here, by the way. It's just me and you. Yep, correct. Definitely correctamundo. Which I can definitely say that in Spanish. Which I'm going to say is like, correctamundo, my friend. Correctamundo. Correct. Definitely correct. That yes, it is just you and me. So, anywho, for right now exactly, that we definitely did have 3 people so far in top fans. That we definitely did, by the way. So, here's what we have on top fans. So, right here on top fans we have is right here is with 85 XP. We have is WOTANCARP with 85 XP. And we also have the next one we have is TechTube 4Y has 75 XP in second place. In third place we have is Paul Kirby 1874 with 35 XP. Nice. Interesting. Once again, very interesting about that. Oh, my real name is WOTAN. Well, nice to meet you, by the way. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, by the way. Nice to meet you, Wotan. Nice to meet you. And, yeah, really again, nice to meet you. And also, I'm Dark Devin, by the way. Nice to meet you. Which also, you can call me Dark Devin anytime. Which means, I'm like the version of Devin Foxy, but pretty much. My name stands for like a god. Oh, interesting. Like a god, huh? Well, I can see why the W makes sense. I can see why the W actually would kind of make more sense to kind of tell me the other way that makes sense about that, but fair enough. Like, your name does stand like God or something. Like, yeah, true enough. And I'd say, fair enough. Which I can definitely relate to. Which I can totally definitely relate. So, anywho, all I can say as of right now is that it is pretty true. And that's very interesting. Very, once again, totally interesting. And say, I was going to think on something otherwise, but, there are going to be some interesting horror, some horror YouTube shorts, by the way, that we were going to definitely be doing. So, for those who may or not know, that yes, we will be continuing to do more YouTube shorts, by the way, exactly. Which, the YouTube shorts of the horror YouTube shorts that we're going to definitely be doing is going to be very, very well thought out, interesting, that we're going to be doing, by the way. That, I think some of those are going to happen pretty soon. That, we're going to be expecting a lot of scary and a lot of those to be appearing on the shorts. So let's just say it will happen pretty soon and momentarily to happen. And the next chat says, my friend's name is DEAN. Oh, nice. Good name. I like the name. Interesting. Well, fair enough. And I'd say, well, alright, well, nice to meet your friend, by the way. Nice to meet your friend, exactly. So, fair enough. And also, how have you been doing lately? Since, well, normally for me, I don't kind of usually say that often, but I would say it less likely to say it. But, yeah, whatever I would say is like, how are you doing at least? And my friend, by the way, found another friend. Oh, nice. Nice, I guess. That's awesome. Congrats. And his name was Antonio, Antonio. Nice. Fair enough. Gotcha. Alright, well, that's cool. That's awesome, I guess. That's pretty much an interesting way to bring like a friend. That is like very interesting. Good job. I'd say cool. Anyway, for now exactly. So, let's just say that I was going to say earlier is that if you guys do or don't know, by the way, with like the gaming consoles, that the only gaming consoles I did have, by the way, let's just say that I do have a Wii, the Wii U, the Xbox, the PS4, and the 3DS, and the Nintendo Switch. Let's just say whenever I get bored, by the way, if I don't like do something pretty boring, by the way, I pretty much would do something very bit less activity a little bit, just to kind of enjoy myself, by the way, just in case, just to enjoy myself for a bit, which means it'll probably be like a good thing, exactly, which, if I actually don't go after like considering going after like folks like the ones who probably would be very less weak to go after, then that's pretty much what I would do, is play something very, let's just say, a little bit entertaining, to do something like, for something entertaining to do. For something very interesting or something like that. But, that's all I have to say. The age of me is 7. Oh, okay. Well, thanks for telling me about that you're 7 years old. Gotcha. Fair enough. Sure. 7 years old. Got it. Well, I'll pretty much be sure to remember that. I'll be sure to remember it. But anyways, all I can say anyway, that the gaming consoles, that yeah, the gaming consoles are pretty well thought out, by the way. Very well, like I said, very well thought out. So, like I said, the Wii U, the Xbox, and the PS4, for example, that we could be actually doing is a lot of other games, by the way. My friend is older than me. His age is 8 years old. Oh, interesting. Got it, got it. Gotcha. Alright. Totally understand. Gotcha. 8 years old. Got it. Alrighty then. So, anywho, I was going to say, if you guys do like my channel profile pic, yes, it does kind of look like the version of me that I do kind of look like Darkiplier. But one day, and I mean definitely, like I said, one day that I will get my body transformation, definitely to pretty much be at my other body exactly. Once, like I said, it'll probably be like happening or something, then you guys will definitely see what it would look like if I pretty much would look like in my original form and true form exactly. That would probably be the case. But for now, at least I'd say that, well, it probably depends. It definitely depends. Once again, it depends if, like I said, if I do get transformationed to my own body exactly to be out there, then we'll see what happens. And oh, I'll have to look in the chat. So it says, I also have a sister named Rowan. Nice. Alright, well, interesting name for a sister. Gotcha. Fair enough. I have to say, I agree. Fair enough. And oh, the next question before anybody does ask, by the way, is how long have we not been making videos? Well, it's been quite some time for ever since that. Well, not too sure, but I was going to make a video earlier on something very like a different topic I was going to make, but unfortunately, I was going to make something different, but who knows? Like, I was really wanting to be looking forward to something I was going to cover on something, but, I really don't know. But it depends. If I was going to mention something, then who knows? Like, I was going to mention earlier that I was going to talk about the WWE 2K25, but I'm not too sure. Not really sure, though. My sister is not older than me. Oh, so you're saying she's younger than you. Got it. Makes sense. Totally makes sense. But anyway, the only video I was going to do, by the way, was that I was going to mention here, by the way, is that yes, I was going to say that WWE 2K25 is going to be like another thing I was going to talk about. But so far, I guess, well, maybe not. Maybe not exactly. But like I said, was going to kind of think about that topic earlier. But I guess I was like, I guess I'm going to say, it's like, well, not today. Just maybe not today, but maybe something like another day or something like that. Or maybe another day that I could definitely do something on for another video for once. That, well, I don't know. But that actually does greatly depend on however that makes sense. And oh, your sister is 6 years old. Alright, gotcha. Alright, well, 6 years old, huh? Okay, well, fair enough. I agree, just fair enough. Alright, well, anywho, I would probably have to say, if you guys enjoy this live stream, remember as always to definitely subscribe to this channel. And, oh yeah, before I say anything, that WWE, well, for me, by the way, I will definitely return and face my non-dark side, by the way. And we'll definitely fight him exactly in the boxing ring, which is going to probably be in the YouTube short only. So for those who do not know in the YouTube short, that yes, it is going to be like the same thing on the YouTube short. But, and I say but, it is going to be pretty different. And it is going to be like the same YouTube short as his YouTube short was. But this time it's going to be a very different way. As I say, it will probably be the same thing. But it'll be more likely pretty different and simple. Once like the gaming consoles get all hooked up to the TV, well, except for the Wii console, that's still good, and that's actually a thumbs up, by the way. It is like completely, again, thumbs up. And I can't run super fast. Oh, really? You can't run super fast. Oh, I see. And the person said hi. Well, hi, by the way. Hello. And you can't run fast, huh? Well, it makes sense. And I mean, for any of us, by the way, well, let's just say that all of us horror killers don't run kind of fast, but most of us could run fast, but it depends on powers. That, for example, like, let's just say for a character named another horror killer, let's just say Jason Voorhees. That, yeah, Jason, by the way, he, on the other hand, can only teleport. He only would rather teleport besides running. He only would rather walk. Like, he would consider walking. He only would walk for a few minutes and then he'll just teleport like a blink of an eye. Like, he'll teleport and get ya. He only will do that and he'll probably randomly appear. So, that's probably your question. And, I can't run super fast like Sonic. Sonic is faster than me. Oh, yes, yes, I remember about that. Sonic.exe has been telling me about that lately. Oh, yes, I forgot. That Sonic.exe earlier, he said that he doesn't like Sonic because, well, he was going to go after him earlier, which, it was pretty much like back to 7 years ago or whatever exactly, but to that day alone, that actually was a little bit of a different time. A very different time. But, if you were like going to say Sonic.exe, by the way, then oh yes, Sonic.exe is pretty fast, but he could only fly and would get somebody pretty fast. I like the color blue. Oh yeah, nice. Good for you. Good for you. I mean, you do like blue after all, so nice. I mean, fair enough. I can definitely relate. And the only thing I would like is red. Just like my glowing red eyes. That's probably what I would say. That, yeah, pretty much. My sister likes the color pink. Oh, nice. Good. Pink, huh? Fair enough. Pink with a different color. I like it. Which, I have to say that, well, not too intimidating, but okay. Well, I'm just like, alright then. With the pink color, sure. I guess. Sure. And my friend likes the color green, likes the color red and green. Oh, nice. Red and green, huh? Alright, well, that's a very good question to kind of mention about, like, red and green. Cool. That's awesome, I say. That's awesome. And say, I was going to mention earlier, is if anybody does pretty much know about how interesting, like, other stuff are going to go on with us, by the way, let's just say us horror killers are doing pretty well thought out, pretty okay at least, which we're doing pretty good so far. And say, at least the good thing is, and at least the good news is, that I would be mentioning earlier, is that, well, at least we're all going to definitely enjoy our time a little bit, just to get back to making videos again. And it actually does depend if we ever do not get bored or something like that. But sure, we probably will get back to making videos soon and likely to make those back. And also, the YouTube shorts I did mention that there are going to be some horror YouTube shorts coming soon. That, something very scary is going to happen in the YouTube shorts. Well, our channel does come to our horror channel exactly because, our horror channel does come to that, by the way, and relate to it. So, yes, it does relate to that. And the next one said, by the way, my favorite game in Roblox is Defense. Oh, I see. Nice. The person says, I'm a dummy Defense. Right. Well, as I said, right. Anyways, and the person said, I meant dummy, D-E-A-N. Got it. Well, alright then. So, if anybody else has any questions to say, let me know in the chat, so that way I'll be able to read. And also, we might probably, like I said, might be able to end the live stream a little bit for a few minutes. So, as I can say, if you guys do have anything to say in this live stream, let me know to say anything before we do kind of have like a few minutes to end the live stream or something. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look. Every game in Roblox is not my favorite, but except for defense games. Oh, alright. Well, I see. Okay, well, that's fair enough. Anybody can have different preferences on Roblox. That can have be a lot of different preferences, but fair enough. Roblox, very, very interesting. Very interesting. But say, for those again who definitely enjoys whatever the next title is going to be, in the next YouTube video I was going to talk about is a WWE 2K25, which means it's going to probably be a good fit for me since I would be liking to play that game, which, well, I don't have the game just yet, but I may be looking forward to that soon, but we'll see. I mean, after all, it did actually came out to be like, I don't know, like 1 year ago or something when the game actually got released or something like that, but I really don't know. And the person says, I will watch your videos. Oh, interesting, huh? Alright, well, just like I said, if you do watch our horror channel, by the way, of our horror videos, then yes, like I said, it only relates to horror and it relates to scary. So just remember this, by the way. If you ever do get jump scared by most of us, well, as I could say anyways, we'll see what happens. And the person said, I would just watch one. Yeah, good start, good start. That would actually be a good idea if I were you. That would totally be a good start. That actually would be, again, a very good start. I will come back to the stream with a video when the video ends. Alright, well, thanks, by the way. That actually be appreciated, by the way. Totally appreciated. And, yeah, definitely, again, appreciated. So, anywho, with that being said, folks, this is Dark Devin speaking, and I will see you guys soon enough. Absolutely. In the next video. And remember, there is going to be some videos that we were definitely going to be intending to make, and also, the only videos we were going to definitely be talking about is that the YouTube shorts that, oh yeah, we're definitely going to bring those back, by the way, just to bring back some scary YouTube shorts to come back. And then, of course, mention a topic about WWE 2K25 game that we'll be mentioning too. So, there you go. And like that being said, like as always, and that being said truly respectfully as always, we're definitely going to go ahead and definitely sign out anyways. So please be sure to give this video a like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified. But anyway, that being said, we will see you all for the next video. And we'll see you guys again, truly respectfully again. Absolutely. In the next video. Time to wrap this video up and time to sign out. And we'll see you guys again for the next video. Goodbye for now. And I will see you guys all next time. As truly as respectfully as always. In the next video. Or maybe in the next live stream. Who knows what really can happen and see what really happens for now. But anyways, for many reasons, I say before, I will see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. See you later, and goodbye. Goodbye for now, and see you next time. Signing right out, and see you next time.